was closing.
Hey, man, hey. Just stepped on my foot, man. I beg your pardon?
Oh, girl, I was wrong. Once again, I was wrong.
You stepped on my foot. Excuse me would be in order.
Last year, everything seemed so sure. Now life is awful. Again, a trouble of hearts could only be a bore.
Ignorant, stupid ass motherfuckers. Just to kind of, you filming this? Fine. You see what I just want to said, oh, excuse me, sir. No, that didn't happen, did it?
Romance is much stifling those who strive. Well, I think I'm gonna be a Black Dean Martin in some small dive, and there I'm gonna be while I rot with the rest of those whose lives are lonely.
And this is the kind of shit I gotta deal with every goddamn night on this fucking train. Do I have to deal with this? No.
Lush life.
A girl grows up too fast in life. She knows all the thrills of paradise before she's 15 years old. That took a lot from her soul. The streets had welcomed her as folks. She knew the tricks and she knew the ropes. Most of it was not gold. That took a lot from her soul. It all happened so fast. She had no future because of her past. She never found a home. Her destiny never found a throne. She never really knew true love. Love was only just a token of. Love was too much to control. That took a lot from her soul. Till the morning, there is nothing that can harm you. With your mommy and daddy standing by summertime. Thank you very much.
Find that spot where you're resonating with pitch, with harmony, then you'll be in tune and you'll nail it. You know, obviously he also has this, gift. That's a gift. I can sing in tune on a register of about 4 notes. They're bad. They're 4 bad notes, man. But that's all I got. And he obviously has a much larger range. And but I think that part of it is instinctively going for that point of connection with harmony, not just musical. I mean pitch, and all of a sudden there's a connection. Any good musician does. I don't care whether they sing or play, euphonium. It creates a spot for your instrument to sit, and Ron does that very instinctively.
But then we're not too young to know Our love will last, though years may go, and then someday they may recall that we were not too young at all.
And he would just amaze me every time, because Ron, as far as I know, does not have any training. And you just don't hear people scat lines like that without training. It's ridiculous. I mean, I hear him hit all of those notes, and I'm like, how does he know that? All this like training and theory stuff came after the music was created. It's almost like I kind of consider Jamie Aebersold kind of a racket. You know, it's like jazz education is a racket. It was completely removed from the actual jazz of what it is. What I learned from Von Freeman after learning all my scales and learning all my theory in college was that all of that really does not mean anything. It has to do with the feeling of the music, and you have to be able to hear this stuff. Ron is a great example of somebody who just lived the music, and just, I mean, I don't know where he got, I'm not familiar with Ron's background. I don't know how Ron even first got interested in jazz. He's just been like a permanent fixture of the Chicago scene since I've been on it, and I know he was on a long time before that.
His mom played piano, his mom played like blues and boogie woogie. His father was a guitar player. And they used to tell me stories about that, where his mom would take him to these gigs where his father was playing. His father was playing the blues, rhythm and blues, and they had to go to the club and get the money from him to make sure, you know, they got some money off of his old man before he jagged it off.
My daddy was like a black Clark Gable. I mean, he knew how to dress. He had the thin mustache, the looks, and he was a talented guitar player. My mother had a lot of problems with my father, you know, because of his looks, and he was not that stable when it came to women and when it came to money. So I used to hear stories about she'd have to be at the nightclub where he was playing at when he got off work to make sure that she got money for me to take home. Otherwise, she never seen my father 2 or 3 days after the gig. My mom was a pianist, and she listened to all the old stuff, Sarah Vaughan, Billie Holiday, Ella Fitzgerald, Betty Carter,
George Gershwin, Ira Gershwin.
The Coasters, like I said, Frank Sinatra tune, Jelly Roll Morton, Miles Coltrane, Cannonball Adderley, Tom Jones. So I grew up listening to that stuff. I didn't know what I was listening to, but I knew I liked it. I remember the first time that I played in front of people. It's like I was like about 7 or 8 years old, and people were talking about, oh, he's a child prodigy. And I'm like, prodigy? What the hell is that? You know, females. You're doing something that they like. I mean, it registered, but it didn't register. Because I'm a kid, I don't know what the fuck's going on, you know. But that registered. You'd be surprised what you can get into when you're 12 years old if you got talent. People respect your music. How do you think I could lay a girl 17 years old and I'm just 12? This is the library I used to come to when I was going to Farron. The teachers taught me, they cultivated a habit in me of reading books, because they taught me the books will take you places that you've never been before, never will go, things that you'll never experience, and things that you'll never see. I am a bookworm. Anne Rice is so good, she'll make your ass actually start believing in vampires. That's how good she is. DuSable, high school I went to was like when I first realized that I was gonna be a real serious musician. They would assign you to a student teacher. You didn't get in the band right away. She was a junior, I'm a freshie. We sit out in the hall by the band room. She showed me the 26 rudiments, had my little practice band, me and 3 other cats. Captain Dab walked past and he heard me and he says, "That sounds mighty damn good, young man." When he went in the band room, she says, "You know how women do sometimes. I don't know why he singled you out to tell you that. You don't sound like nothing to me." And then she told me, she said, "You know what? You must have something I don't see. Because if he singled you out for a compliment, that must mean you got some talent." That's when I knew I was gonna play music the rest of my life. I didn't care who liked it, who didn't like it. It was in me, I'ma do it. If you like it, fine. If you don't like it, that's fine too. Street knowledge, book knowledge. Can't go wrong.
At my favorite bar, getting high as I could be. That's when the ugliest woman inside that bar started looking real good to me. Feeling all right, I said a few words, seeing how she was all alone. Whatever I said must have been all right, because I wound up taking her home.
My bridge is all across, nowhere to go, but now that you're here, I think I know just where I'm going, baby. No more doubts or fears, I found my way.
When I was learning how to play, we couldn't wait to get together to jam. We didn't even think about getting paid for a rehearsal. We just wanted to get together and play. But now if you can't pay a guy to rehearse, they won't even play. No one wants to jam anymore, just to make music, just to make music. And Ron's that old breed.
The Holy Land for jazz musicians around the world is New York. I've never been there, I want to go. And talent-wise, I think I can hold my own, but I want to go and find out. I won't know unless I go.
Going to New York to get a gig for Ron may not be well thought out, okay? Getting him someplace to stay and getting him a telephone is the most important thing.
Anything you do is all right with me. Anything you do is all right with me. Bust my head upside the wall and I won't feel no pain. As a matter of fact, I dig you so much I might ask you to do that again. Anything you do is all right with me. Any old thing that you decide to do is all right with me. Bust my kneecaps, break my arms, and I'll know ecstasy. Pull out all my fingernails, I love you, you're for me. Ba-ba-do-bop.
Pays to be humble. Humble, I guess, is the best word. Because when you get up there and you think you know everything, that's when you fuck up. That's really when you fuck up. Yeah, well, I've been doing this all my life. I'm cool, I'm good. Know what I'm doing. This is my business. When you start thinking like that and you get on stage, that's when you flop. When you get on stage and you got butterflies in your stomach, that's when the talent really projects itself, because like it's either a do or die situation. I'm here, I got to do this. I'm gonna either shit or get off the pot, and I got plenty of shaman. As you can look at me and say, I ain't no kid. So I've been singing a long time, and what I do is like from the 40s and I'm gonna do All the Way for You. Like I said, it's Frank Sinatra tune.
He'll just come up and sing to you. You know, it's not a microphone involved. And you'll walk around the house and I remember this one woman at Sturgis, Sarah, she's a dwarf, and she would request a song from him every once in a while. He would just like make love to her with his voice, and she just loved it, you know, and you know, made her day, you know, and you know, as a musician, that's what you take out of it, or a venue operator. You want people to walk out happier than they walked in. If you did that, you did your job, and the money isn't important. And Ron is very pure about that, because obviously money isn't very important to him. So.
The way. You know, that's a cappella, but it would sound good if you heard a piano behind me or a guitar or something like that.
Sound good.
Well, thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
It was nice to meet you.
Oh, my pleasure. And your name?
Ziki.
Are you in the arts some kind of way? Still got my CDs for sale.
Huh?
Still got my CDs for sale.
I've got cash this time.
Huh?
I've got cash this time.
You got some money?
What?
That's a great line. Well, how much is your CD? Whoa, $1 per tune. Oh, that sounds great. How many tunes? 18. And it's like, oh, well, okay. Here's a 20. They don't want to look small, right? Here's a 20. Keep the change. Well, thank you very much. That would be a gas. $1 per tune. How many tunes on there? 40. This is the church I grew up in. When I was a little bitty baby boy, I grew up in this church. My grandmother was like the custodian, and I helped to keep this church clean. First time I met Von Freeman, and they had the weekly jam sessions, and like Chicago's Best would come out there, and people from New York would come, and I went over and I said, Mr. Freeman, I've heard a lot about you, and if possible, I'm a jazz vocalist, and I would like to sit in. And he's sitting at the bar. He looked me up and down. He said, you sing, huh? Yes, sir. Yeah, we'll call you up in a little while, see what you can do. They called Pimp up. That's not, of course, it's not his real name. But they called him up, and I went right after him. But they called him up, and he sung, and the audience just woo, woo, woo. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that was great. And then somebody announced, well, we have a new singer that's coming up, and nobody's ever heard him. Oh, there's another singer up there, Pimp. You showed him, he can't top you, man. You the boss, you the man. And he's like, yeah, man, young blood, you think you gonna blow me off stage? We'll see. Nah, I'm really shaking in my boots now because my credibility is on the line. Nobody knows me, you know. And this is either sink or swim. Well, I decided to swim. They kicked the first tune off. I came in, I sang, I scattered, and she walks into the room. She sits down right in front of me. Oh my God, this is Betty Carter, one of the greatest jazz vocalists in the world. And I stopped. I mean, I just froze. Band kept playing, but I froze. And Vaughn probably remembers this. I just, she said, because she was always known for having a very profane mouth. And she said, don't stop now, you little motherfucker. You singing your ass off. Don't stop. So with that encouragement, I said, well, okay. Closed it up. The room got deathly quiet, and I'm thinking, I bombed. 10 seconds later, man, the applause is overwhelming. Like I said, Bond has a habit of like singers. One song, and that's it. I knew it was politics, so I'm coming off stage, right? Bond said, express yourself. That's one of his favorite expressions. No, going back up there, express yourself. Make a long story short, I sang about 4 or 5 tunes in a row with this band, which is unheard of for a singer. Now, he lets horn players do this, but singers, no. One-shot deal if you're a singer. But my name was made that night. I normally do this like 2 or 3 times a week. I come down here and I practice. The sound bounces off one wall, it bounces off the next wall. That's why I like to come down here and practice. Because of the acoustics. The sound goes every which way, and it's grand. I love it. Take my lips, I'll never use them. Take my arms, I want to lose them. Your goodbye left me with my eyes that cry. How can I go on, baby, without you? You took the part that once was my heart, so why not, baby, take all of me? Don't get mad at the piano. It's an amazing thing to be gifted with hearing music. And it's a whole nother ball game being gifted with hearing and be able to play it. I mean, that is having your cake and eating it too. I like that.
There are a lot of stylists in jazz. You know, Harry Connick is a great singer, but he's a stylist. He cops the style of the Frank, the Tony Bennett. Ron is in a different category. Not better, not worse, necessarily just different. He's really a sax player or a bone player, you know. You know, Chet Baker, was he a vocalist or a trumpeter? You know, Louis Armstrong, was he a vocalist or a trumpeter? You know, there's a lot of value to all of their contributions to the music. Nat King Cole, was he a pianist or a singer? You know, there's a lot of value. Ella Fitzgerald, of course. You know, Sarah Vaughan. You know, Sarah can scat and really say something, and then also, you know, she could really sing a song, and you know, sing for white people. You know, beautifully.
When you start scatting, you cease to be a singer. You are an instrumentalist, trumpeter, trombonist, saxophonist, whatever. That's what Ella became, because like she could. Not too many singers could do that.
But Ron always, to me, was not really about whether Ron was going to sing. It's waiting for Ron to scat and play those incredible solos that just, you know, I just think of them as solos, you know, for me.
We come to the story of really the love of my life, Elise Reed Mabry. My life was a lot richer and fuller by meeting her until the Jehovah's Witnesses got a hold to her. That's when everything turned sour. First, I got the ultimatum. No more sex until we get married. And I said, thought about that. I said, I've been with this woman over 10 years. Yeah, fine, I'll marry her. I said, okay, no problem. Number 2, I don't want you getting high in the house no more. Now, me and her used to get high together. I'm not talking about alcohol, I'm talking about smoking weed, you know, and a couple of other things we do together, you know. And all of a sudden, She's not doing it, and she don't want me to do it in the house. I said, okay. Thought about that for a second or two. I said, there's a garage, there's a basement. She goes to bed early, there's no problem. You can still get at it. I said, all right, baby, no problem. I won't get out in the crib no more. And she said, number 3. I said, what's this? She said, you have to convert over to my religion. I said, oh no.
We lived on the 3rd floor, 1007 North Rush. It was above a strip joint, so it was kind of a scene there. And I guess somehow he started to hang out there, and he liked to hang out and sing, and he could sing his butt off. I mean, he just knew how to do it. He sounded right. He liked to have a good time, and I played piano, and he could sing. So.
And it's still here. I used to eat here in the 70s. And I bet you the food hasn't changed at all. Nice place to eat. All the musicians used to hang out here and eat because it was cheap. We'd eat here, then we go down to Chicago, half block from here where we just passed, to the liquor store, do our thing. Like I said, it's a small neighborhood here, man. My old hood, nice being back around here.
Basically, we all were hanging out on Rush Street in those days. And the first day I met Ron, and I realized he was a musician and a singer and was playing the piano and writing, and I said, hey, we should get together and write some tunes. So like the next day he came over to my apartment. I had a piano. Actually I had an old Fender suitcase keyboard with the speaker on the bottom. And he came over and we just wrote a bunch of tunes together.
The 70s were really happening, man. The people were real. These are artificial motherfuckers out here now, man. Straight up artificial motherfuckers. You know, everything is about...
Where's Dearborn?
Dearborn. That's,
Dearborn.
State, boom, boom. It's a block after...
Not very patient.
Fuck him, shit, I'm not looking for Dearborn, he is.
A wistful little star was far too high. A teardrop kissed your lips, then so did I. Now when I remember spring and all the joy that love can bring, I will be remembering the shadow of your smile, the shadow of your smile, the shadow of your smile, the shadow of your smile.
I remember him telling me about his mother, and his mother passed. And she owned a building on the south side. And I drove him down there and he showed me her house, and we went upstairs and he brought out her jewelry box and said, Joni, pick a ring of my mother's. I still have that ring. And apparently, I I guess he lost the house. I think it was something like back taxes or something ridiculous like that. And I don't think he really wanted the responsibility of having it anyway.
1007 North Rush. That's why I was on NBC 1977. I was playing drums, had some top flight cats with me. That's when my mom saw me on TV, yes sir.
She died September 25th, 1978. And there's not a day to go past it I don't think about her.
I just think that nobody gives a shit anymore. And that's sad. They're like, wow, you're talented. Okay, I'm busy. I gotta, check my email. And I think that's really the issue, is that there are a lot of talented folks out there. And as a teacher, I see that all the time. And I like to tell my guys, I'm like, you know what? You're gonna go out, you're gonna graduate, you're gonna try to conquer the world, and you know what? You're gonna learn in a short amount of time that nobody gives a shit. And you're either doing this because you love it,
Fuck yeah.
and you're gonna keep on doing it, fuck yeah. You know what I'm saying? Or you're not, And if you think that you're doing it for some reward, then it's a mistake. And someone like Ron has got that pretty clear. He may have illusions about how he's going to conquer the world, but ultimately he knows he loves to sing, and he gets to have a chance to sing, he's going to go sing.
And he speaks to me, hey Ron, how's it going? I said, oh, everything's pretty cool. He goes to the bar and he has a drink. Matter of fact, he has several drinks. And when I came down off my set, he said, hey man, thanks a lot. And I'm like, thanks for what? He says, when I came in here, I was gonna go home and take my wife out, take my kids out, and then take myself out. I came in here and I listened to you. He said, I don't feel that bad now. He said, I got a whole different outlook on life just by what you sang. And that's like, damn, if music has got those kind of powers, I mean, you can stop somebody literally from taking their life, their family's life. Music's strong, man. It's really strong.
In this world, there are so many times when true talent gets overlooked for whatever reasons. Not being in the right place at the right time, someone next to you gets heard before you. And I think that might have happened with Ron. I think he probably did have a chance to make it at some point, and for whatever reason, he missed his shot. I think someone overlooked his talent, and being discouraged by something like that can really overcome you and take over your whole world.
See, people just don't recognize some people. I've tried to figure it out. I can't. See, you got to be at the right place at the right time, doing the right thing in front of the right people. Some people never get those four together.
When he leaves my apartment, he says, well, I'm going to Quenchers, or he says he sleeps on the L sometimes.
So I think it's probably been maybe 3 years that he's been coming here, and mostly what I know about him, I've gotten secondhand. People have said that that they've seen him, and I think I saw him on an L one night. That at that time that's where he was spending his nights, was traveling up and down between here and O'Hare or whatever, sleeping on the L.
I sleep on the train. I ride back and forth from O'Hare to Forest Park, back to O'Hare to Forest Park, back and forth, back and forth. The people that you meet on these trains, the majority of them are indifferent. You're homeless? Who gives a fuck? I'm making a nice living. I won't give you a dime or a quarter or 50 cents, because the first thing you're gonna do is run to the liquor store, which is not true. The first thing you're gonna do sometimes is go to get something to eat. Pardon me, sir, could you spare a quarter for the homeless?
I don't have one, I'm sorry.
You don't have one?
Don't worry about me. I'll get along. Just you forget about me, baby. be happy, my love. Say that our little show is over, and so the story ends. Why not call it a day in a sensible way, and we will remain friends. Look out for yourself should be the rule. Give your heart and your love to whomever you love. Baby, don't you be no fool. Honey, I'll never cling to some fading thing that used to be.
I don't think I assumed that it was temporary. I think it was pretty clear that he was a free spirit and didn't want responsibilities and preferred, I guess you could almost say preferred being on the street.
There is a lot of freedom in having nothing. You know, you don't have responsibility, you don't have nobody to answer to. But I'd rather deal without the poverty. You'd be surprised at how many women that I meet out here that are interested in me until they find out I don't have shit. And then it's, well, it was nice knowing you, bye. I don't blame them. I do not blame them.
It begins to tell round midnight, round midnight. I do pretty well till after sundown. Supper time, I'm feeling sad, but it really gets bad around midnight.
He slept on a train basically because I guess like he didn't want to stay at the shelters where they like wake you up at 6:30 or 6 o'clock in the morning. And those are fucking horrible places.
Yeah, I thought about them. I've been in one or two of them. I've been in one that was really nice, but the majority of them are bullshit. They're run like prison institutions. The strong prey on the weak.
They probably didn't want to spend the money to stay at like a, you know, a flea bag hotel. Plus you gotta have ID.
When you're on the street so long, you get addicted to the street. For some reason, there's some lure about the street. You get addicted to it, and he's addicted to the street.
We had couches here in the front at the time, and he'd read and then he'd fall asleep. But I didn't think too much of that, you know, that's fine, you know. And then I came to understand that this was more or less had become part of his home life. That this is where he was able to get a little rest because he didn't have any place to stay.
And Ron also tended to live at the Green Mill at the time because they opened up at noon and it's close to the L, and he would come around there, and it took him a while to wear out his welcome.
Yeah, there was a lot of guys like that some guys are geniuses. Maybe Ron Cooper's a genius, I don't know. The guy's really talented, you know, he could play drums, he could sing, he could do all kinds of stuff, this guy. But he maybe has a hard time living a normal life. Of course, when I didn't know as much about jazz because I was a young punk kid just trying to get a break in life, you know, at the Deja Vu, and I thought he was great, man, you know, like charismatic, he knew how to stage presence, handle a microphone, look at the girls, say the right stuff, great voice, he hits all his notes the right way. How about a drink? All right, Ron, all right, I know. Sing a song for a free drink. So you give him a drink. But then you start going to customers. How was that? I sang it for you. You know, and then, of course, he kind of twists their arm to buy him a drink. you know, it's just not cool. And I started saying, Ron, come on, you don't do that. You know, and you don't want to have to babysit an adult. And then he'd sit in the booth and pass out.
Young jazz musicians appreciated his ability, and they would have a gig here, and Ron Cooper would sit at the table right in front of the stage, waiting for his turn to get up and sing, and he'd fall asleep, you know. And then sometimes he'd fall asleep right through his set.
This is really an examination of what happens to you when you're homeless. Unfortunately, with musicians, as the old joke goes, that they don't have girlfriends and refuse to do anything else. They put pressure on employers or friends that otherwise you wouldn't put on employers or friends if you weren't homeless.
I used to visit all those very gay places, those come with me places, where one relaxes on the axis of the wheel of life to get the feel of life from jazz and cocktails.
Well,
I'm not good with after names.
Oh, Dimitri Vodka's cool, man.
Dimitri Vodka.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thanks, man.
What if they don't have it?
If they don't have it, get a half a pint of Parmesan brandy.
All right.
I feel like I've arrived. I'm a star. Not with this hair looking like this, you ain't.
Everybody knows that I have an affinity for the grape every now and then.
All right, somebody's got to buy CDs. I need to make a trip across the street.
The young musicians today are more teetotalers. And from his school, it was heavy. It was heavy dope and heavy and drinking.
I need to smoke, really need my mind blown. I'd like some hash or some real nice homegrown. Wish I had some mint leaf or some bud, a nice piece. Reaper man, oh where can you be? I need to smoke something good that will last. I need to see both my eyes at half-mast. A big fat blunt would do me. I sure don't want no doobie. Reaper man, oh where can you be?
This is something I really want to talk about.
You know,
people that don't know anything about drugs and reefer tend to have a feeling that reefer is a gateway drug. Once you do reefer, you want to expand and try other stuff, cocaine, heroin, whatever. That's bullshit. Cocaine is a drug. Heroin is a drug. Reefer is a herb that comes out the ground naturally. What do you think the Indians had in the peace pipe, and why do you think they called it the peace pipe?
He's got the merch, but he's so hard to find. He's got the weed, and I wish it were mine. I am so disgusted. I heard that boy got busted. Reaper man, oh where can you be? Where can you be?
The first time I really started singing, I sang with like 4 or 5 cats in alleys like this one. The light coming down on us with a 5th of Wild Irish Rose, and we sang. This place where we getting ready to go now is one of the drinking establishments that I used to frequent quite a bit back in the day. When I was working at the Bop Shop, which is a jazz joint right there on Division and Wood, I used to work there as the maintenance engineer, which is bullshit. I was a janitor. This in this glass right here is Wild Irish Rose. This is what I grew up on. This is my drink of choice since I was about 12 years old. As a matter of fact, we had a saying back in the day, if you find a motherfucker that don't drink Wild Irish Rose, don't trust him, because it ain't about shit.
A few years back, Ron had a recording session happening where he was going to record about 3 or 4 songs with a guitar player and 3 or 4 songs with me. So he recorded the songs with the guitar player first. When I came on and we played them, a couple takes each time. We listened to playbacks and everything. By this time it's about 10, 11 o'clock. And I'm thinking, man, I could really, really use a drink. And I look at Ron and he's shaking, he's all sweaty. You know. So I said, Ron, you should call these the dry sessions. Can you believe it's 10 o'clock and neither one of us had a drink? You know. So he falls off the chair, he's laughing so hard. A couple weeks later, I run into Ron and he says, hey, check it out, the dry sessions.
We had a lot of fun drinking in the morning.
The doctor told me, he said, well, if you get out of here and you go back to drinking like you were drinking, you see, you're gonna have only 2 more car rides in your life. One is to us, where we'll pronounce your silly ass dead, and the next one is in a hearse.
He shouldn't have anything to drink at all, and I was afraid that people were buying him drinks. And so that was one reason I didn't want him here at night. But I think now the people who are working here and a lot of the customers understand his situation. They don't try to, buy him a drink or get him in. I give him cigarettes, so that's probably not any good for him either. But
like that drinking in the morning shit when he would stay the night, that was scary because then you get to see the real. That's like drinking to become normal. And he knew that was screwed up, because he was an intelligent person. And that's the reason why he would, go on the wagon, dry out,
I think it's because I am on the wagon. People that I don't normally associate with will come up, how you doing, man? What's going on? Oh, nothing much. What you got on the drink? Nothing. Well, that's okay, I'll buy one. No, I'm not drinking. What? No, I'm not drinking. Ah, bullshit. Then they found out I'm not bullshitting. You're serious, aren't you? Cool, I'll buy you 2 drinks. The moral of the story is, motherfuckers want to see you down in the same motherfucking situation and shape they in. Now, these people didn't fuck with me when I was drinking, and I needed one. Where were they? But now that they found out I'm not drinking, oh, I will buy you the brewery if you want it,
I got sober over 3 years ago, going on almost 4 years, and we had this talk about like what's really important, like when drinking becomes more important than the music, then your reputation becomes, and that's just your reputation. You get known for that, and then the music is like secondary. And then like with yourself, it's like, well, what's important? You say that, I'm going to say like, I love to play music, but the fact of the matter is, if I'm playing the gigs because I know I'm going to be able to drink, then it's like, well, you're playing because you're going to be able to drink for free or whatever. There's going to be booze, chicks, reefer, whatever, And therefore, then that becomes the important thing, not the music.
Now, we all know that there's something wrong, don't we? The best scenario is that I'm gonna cut out my bad habits and continue to stay here on this planet and create good music with good musicians.
He could hardly stand up because he was so weak from his heart. But when he did stand up and open his mouth, he sang great. I've never seen him when he can't sing. I've seen him so drunk he can hardly walk, but as soon as he sings great.
Get your mind off of that. Jesus Christ.
Off of what?
I want to drink shit.
He looked for people who would go along with him and enable him, and I probably enabled him. I'm sure I did, and a lot of other people did. But he wouldn't hang out with you if you wouldn't go along with what he wanted to do.
And I've just recently learned how to say no is no, and he is the way, it's that old style manipulation, passive aggressive, where they get you to admit that that's really what you want or something like that. I don't know how it is, but
Would one drink do anything bad to my system? I mean, I've been clean damn near a month now. But who am I kidding? One drink leads, all right, I'll have one drink. Okay, one drink. Then I'm gonna want another one, and another one, and another one. And the next thing I know, it'll be like, how the fuck did I get like this? Then I'm back to my old self. No, fuck that. Don't think I ain't still thinking about it though.
Ultimately, it's like, what great artist is not somebody who doesn't have some really deep faults, There's lots of cats that had, especially back in the older cats, had a lot of junk problems, But, I don't know how much that really has anything to do with the music than it does with the trouble that they're feeling in their soul. And I mean, he's blown a lot of stuff in his life, that's for sure. And, he keeps going. I think that's maybe the thing. It's like, you think about your average American. If you were to lose your house, be homeless for 20 years, I'm pretty sure it's been close to that for Ron. But let's see, even homeless for 10 years, or even 10 weeks. Homeless, no possessions. Would you keep living? Would you keep moving? And Ron, you put that microphone in his hand and he gives you 120%.
My biggest regret can be summed up in one word, and that's procrastination. I always figured out what I thought I had figured out because I was young, good looking, talented. The world could wait for me and take me when I came along. Didn't work that way. The world went on, I got older. I got better, but I got older. There were too many opportunities that passed me by because of procrastination.
You're younger, you think maybe you'll get famous, or you're going to pursue your music. It's easy to live off of nothing when you're young.
With the world, I will be honest, and I want these facts to be known. I want to sing, play, and write my music, and then be left the fuck alone. That was basically my philosophy. I didn't give a fuck about stages and audiences and applause. I just wanted to be somewhere like where I could practice, come up with new ideas, new compositions, and stuff like that. If I could do that, I'm content. Some people have to have a spotlight on them and have applause and they're bowing and they're curtsying and I didn't need that shit. I didn't want that. I want that now. Been wanting that for some time though. Applause is like an aphrodisiac. Applause is like ambrosia to the gods. Applause is addictive. Especially when you know, there's nothing in the world like it. I can't even compare applause to a sexual climax, which is one of the most beautiful things in the world. But when you hear that fucking applause and you just know you gave your life and your soul on that stage, I don't know how much longer I'm gonna be here because I got something to give the world, and goddamn it, I'm gonna show them what I got. You sing, girl? Are you really a singer?
God-given talent.
Huh?
A God-given talent. Why?
Just ask.
Want to hear something?
Yeah, come over here and sing something.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. It was grace that brought me out, and grace I've been found, and grace shall lead me home. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
That was great. Go to the post office, drive a garbage truck or something. You see, creativity involves around growing on a constant basis. You know, you get to a point where you say you're complacent and you stay there, and you're not creative.
The same thing with me. I teach younger musicians what I know. How do you do this? To the best of my ability, I try to show them. Because I'm not going to be here forever. No. And I don't want to take all this knowledge to the grave. So that'll be my legacy to pass it on to younger cats. When I'm gone, I will live through what they do.
He says, baby girl, he says, you know, just be yourself. Be yourself, have confidence. He always stressed confidence because I was always underconfident, you know. But he was always strict about that. And I remember being scared to death. I would never sing after him. Are you kidding me? No way would I go up after him for many, many years. Because why would you? Who could go up and sing after Coop, you know? So I just sat back and listened and learned and tried to remember phrasing, space, break up the phrasing, you know, which is hard to do when you're used to singing a melody. So he really opened my brain and enlightened me to that whole thing at a very tender age.
Push it up from there through your lungs and out your mouth. Can you give us some air so we can do this, get it done, and then we're out of here? Gospel, huh? Yep. Check this out. Thrill me, darling. That's how it's done.
In the silence of my lonely room.
So we're not waking you up or anything, right?
Not bothering you?
You sound all right?
Yeah.
Told Ron this a lot. I think he makes a lot of people happy with his voice. You know, whenever he sings, people smile and get happy. You know.
Remember spring and all the joy that love can bring. I will be remembering the shadow of your smile.
The more the older I get, the more jaded I get about success and being recognized and shit like that. And it's like a song I wrote a long time ago. If it was meant for me, I'd have it. Obviously, this is not meant for me. So I'm not gonna have it on a grand scale. But during my lifetime, I've made a lot of people happy through my music.
I never got into the thing where you just make your money and that's all you need or something. It seems like there's more mystery to life than that.
See, that's the thing you don't learn in school. This is the cats that are hanging around in the jazz clubs. This is the stuff that's around. This is the environment.
He's one of the most gracious men I ever met, you know.
An interesting person, you know. He lived a very interesting life.
Finally, here's a singer I can learn from.
Everybody that ever met him miss it.
He sings the words, but he also sings lines that you want to go and transcribe. You want to say that was some bebop. That was some, I want to write that down, I want to transcribe that shit and play it in all 12 keys and figure it out on my guitar.
He's just a genius with the way he sang.
He was the best from the beginning.
That's Tony Bennett.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We had big fun doing this. Thank you, Ron Cooper. Thank you so much for coming out and sharing the evening with us. We had fun and we sincerely hope you did too.
This is it, baby. Jazz is the thing. Ain't that right, baby?